You catching me? Catch my drift? Okay, cool. Today, my character, Nixon, and I, we're going to show you guys how to draw eyes and why you need to know this and why you need to know eye anatomy and all kinds of cool stuff. And so, the first thing I'm going to explain to you is why I chose one of my original characters to do this tutorial. And the reason why is because he has a gray eye and a green eye, and I think it's going to be a nice way to show you guys the different approach to drawing a darker eye versus a lighter color eye. And I'm also, I have him walking under some foliage. He's going to be looking up. I was so excited when I was doing this. And some light's going to be passing through his green eye, and that kind of makes it where I can give you guys a lesson on how light goes through your eyeballs, because these things are amazing, and there's so many cool facts that I'm going to be just tossing in there with my little tutorial. And I'm trying to think, did I cover all my things? I think I did. So let's jump into it. Come on, let's go. Now that we are both literally on the exact same page, you can see where I'm starting to, you know, like flesh out this drawing, and I'm really trying to hone in what I want. So I chose this angle to begin with, so his eyes would be a little bit bigger naturally, which is a little bit more into perspective, and I'll get into that in a later video. But for now, let's just discuss the eyes. Right now, you can see where I've got this eyelid kind of pushing down on top of his eye. And this is something that's really really common for boys. They have that brow that, you know, kind of comes down. And because this particular character has a lot of naturally feminine traits, I really appreciated giving him a lid over his eyeball. I think that it's a great attention to detail that is necessary, and you need to observe this. So we'll start with that. And as you can see, I've already planned where one of the pupils is going to be bigger than the other one. If you don't know what the pupil is, it is the black part of your eye. The colored part is called the iris, which is something super, super cool. So as I discussed before I started drawing this, Nixon has heterochromia, which is when you have two eye colors. But his is actually not something he was born with. You can actually develop heterochromia from a blunt force trauma to a certain part of your head, or something getting into your eye, or if you happen to have diabetes or some type of, anyways, his is from a trauma, which is really important to his story, so important to tell you guys. Right now I'm starting the coloring of this eye, and as you can see, I've the sclera, I think it's sclera. Anyways, it's the white part of your eye, and I'm showing you right here why you can't just take your eye and color it bright white. No, absolutely do not do this. If you want to draw your eye and make it look more realistically, do a really toned down white. Almost, you know, a really, really tan color. I would say 2 shades lighter than the skin tone you used. And then later on in the image, we're going to build up that white to give the eye that gleam, that shine, that youthful vibrance that you think of when you think of an eyeball. Another great thing that I'll show you later on in the image when you zoom in is something called the limbal ring. And the limbal ring is actually something that is only present in youth. Your limbal ring is the outside of your iris that's super, super dark. Right now where I'm coloring around on the outside, that is the limbal ring, that really dark part before you get to the white part of your eye. That's something that you can instantly add to make your character look more youthful. If you've never noticed it, look at an older person's eyes. They're not going to have that limbal. It's going to fade. Super interesting when I was hearing about that. Another cool thing I'll throw into you guys about eyes that you might not know is blue eyes didn't exist up until 10,000 years ago. That is absolutely crazy. What they are is most of your eye color is determined off of melanin. And blue eyes don't really kind of exist. What it is it's the same effect, the Rayleigh effect, which is also used when you're looking at the sky, so it makes it look blue. The same thing is what makes eyes look blue. It's that lack of melanin. And that's something similar to a green eye too, except for theirs is kind of a play off of how light passes through that eyeball. As you can see now, I'm starting to add those details to the eye. And notice how I put the shading right beneath that lash line. I'm not really doing his lashes really dark for this, because that's something that, although it is a lot really common for boys to have more eyelashes than females, which is something you wouldn't really think about. But I really wanted to tone down his eyelashes because they're really not something that's drawn super big the way that most people do them. But I'm just choosing to not exaggerate those. That's up to you. I'm really starting now to do those deep color changes. You can see in the green eye that I've really gone in and I've carved out that yellow. And that's mainly because that light is entering his eye at the top, and it's passing through and it's exiting out where that yellow is. This is something that, you really have to start thinking about lighting when you're starting your images. I know that a spontaneity is nice to have, but when you plan your light while you're doing it, it makes it so much easier for you not have to go back, backwards and fix things. So, you can do it right now. You can take your hand and you can put it over one of your eyes, and you can look and tell that pupil is gonna expand, and that's because of that color change. So just think, if you're doing a low lit image, those pupils are gonna be big, and they're gonna expand, and they're gonna go across that iris. And that's something that I think, you just need to know. I mean, it's a fascinating aspect of the eye. And it's something so interesting about eyes. And tears, even our tears, they can help disinfect our eye, which is crazy. Come on now, we've got these special little soldiers that keep our eyes from getting infected. Think about that. Right now what I'm doing is I'm putting in different flecks of color. The most thing that I see people do wrong is they will just take an eye and do a gradient down, a dark green to a light green, or they'll just do this, but they won't put those little flecks of variation. Now, it's not important for you to put a lot of those little flecks, but you can tell where I've kind of gone in and done a quick little swash of orange into his gray eye. And those little tenderness, that tender aspect, you can even see where I've gone in and done a little bit of the brown on his eyelid and his eyelashes where that light is going across. Those tender touches, guys, are what makes those eyes have that real gleam and shine to them. Even where I went down at the very bottom and I put actual just bright white just pooling at the bottom of his eyelash line. These are those small details that just bring life and character to these adorable things you're going to be creating. And I'm super excited. These are a couple of my tips. I would love to do a slow down version and maybe show you guys specifically how to draw, an almond eye versus a round eye and why they're different and all that kind of stuff. But obviously this drawing is finished and I've got only one thing left. I've got to sign this thing. Come on now. Oh my God. Literally, I always draw this signature like trash the first time. Let's fix this. Ugh. Yeah, there we go. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching, and let's flip back over. I had so much fun showing you guys my process today and sharing my hot tips on how you can get your art better. And obviously, I can't cram everything there is to know about an eye in this one short video, so I can do multiple if there's something you guys want to know more of. Hey, how do I draw an eye differently, or what's the difference between a male eye and a female eye? I'm here. I'm gonna answer any comments you'd leave down below, or I can just make another video. I mean, I love drawing eyes. They literally tell you everything you need to know about somebody in a quick little glance. And subscribe. That way you'll be able to see if I do more tutorials like this. I'll do some really cool ones, probably on anatomy of the whole body coming up. And I'd love to see you guys stop back by. And as always, you guys better be staying